到底 project sakit or abandon 掉的 project buyer 还需不需要给 loan？
Because if you still continue pay progressive interest, right, it's compounded.
Yeah.
So in the long run, right,
You're paying more
you're
interest.
paying more.
Yeah.
You have a very
Everything.
nice house and all, but you like struggling lah. Because they know this is not the place that I will stay. This is the place I want to build an investment.
很多小伙伴你们可能就会问，这样他在2023年就开始要供他的 loan 了吗？ Just now Jeremy mentioned around 2023 he started paying full loan already. 到底 project sakit or abandon 掉的 project buyer 还需不需要给 loan 的，还需不需要供的？其实我觉得很多人都会有这个问题。So Jeremy, from 2023 onwards, you started paying all the while until now lah. Every month you just pay 1,000 plus the loan.
So that's the thing, right? It's not like if you have a project sakit or abandoned, then the bank like, okay, never mind, your sakit we give you immunity, don't need discount or anything. So there's few things that can happen when so like I mentioned, right? So you're supposed to pay your full installment upon like 3 years or upon VP. The case of my project or what I can see from other residents, right? There's two things, right? One is upon the time up, right? You start paying. And it's also not the full installment. It's like full as per your percentage, like what I currently doing lah, right? There's some, I think it depends bank to bank, right? It depends bank to bank. For mine, it automatically starts the full installment of the percentage. I think for some banks or maybe some agreement between residents and buyers and bank, right, is they still pay the progressive interest, right? So two things can happen, right, where you pay progressive interest, continually pay progressive interest or pay the full installment, right? So when it was defaulted to pay the full installment, I had the choice to whether to write into the bank to, please convert it to progressive interest. So at that point, I'm very blessed to be able to have a job that finances was not bad, right? I was able to finance the full installment. So I continue paying. Some people I know are not, right? They opt for the progressive interest. Why I decided, or why in our residents group, right, there was an encouragement to actually start paying full installment, because if you still continue pay progressive interest, right, it's compounded. So in the long run, right,
you're paying more
you're
interest.
paying more because you're just servicing the interest but not the full loan. So there was a encouragement for those that are able to pay full installment to go for it. So this is the deal, right? Regardless of whether your project ends up VP or not, that is between you and the developer. You still have to pay, you still have to service your loan with the bank
because you are getting the loan from the bank. The bank pay the developer. I think that's 这个是那个 process， 就是买家跟银行借钱嘛，然后 developer 就跟银行拿钱去建 project 咯。但是 developer 如果没有建好那个 project， 买家没有拿到那个房子的话，买家还是要对银行还是要照样还钱的。So I think it has been a long process, and just now you told me that there's still some hope, right, currently?
Yep. So there's hope now is because after a whole legal issue things, right? So the current status I can share right now is that because the thing is developer macam no money macam no, from my point of view, right? So what I know is there is something called judicial management, right? So another company is now appointed by the court to manage the finance of this developer.
Okay.
Right. So when they say that, that means they will manage the finances. They will actually audit the finances to actually know that to have a survey lah. They have their own calculation survey.
They do audit lah.
Audit of whether the project can be revived, can be salvaged or not lah. Right. So as I mentioned, like there's hope because they did mention that there is hope. There is hope. They managed to get another bank that is willing to finance, right? Sorry. Because of this, right, and maybe material goods come out, and then maybe the another bank is again, this bank is not the bank that I go loan. This is developer maybe going with another bank to get their financing for this, right? That would actually means potentially top-ups, right? Potentially, I have to pay, what was stated was about 5 to 10% of the house price.
This was stated black and white?
Yeah, it's black and white. In the report that was given potentially.
I see.
So with that, right, because as I was saying, the house price is about 300k, right? So there's a potential that we have to top up. And this top up thing is not rare because there are other houses, other developments that actually got revived and the buyers also have to top up.
Yeah.
So
because for you guys, I got no choice. I can only top up.
Yeah.
You ask me top up 20% to get my house, I will do that also rather than got it abandoned there, right?
Yeah. You get it abandoned is one thing. You still have to pay your loan,
Yeah.
So it's like, so it's 20% or 5 to 20% to get a house, or don't top up, don't get a house.
Yeah.
So at that point,
you can't do anything. You just have to pay.
You have to pay. And there's a lot of discussion on how people can finance the 5 to 20%. I think some people are saying like, oh, can I break it up and park it as part an addition to my current loan with the other banks? I don't know yet. I don't know what I will be doing.
I think they can do that, right?
Yeah.
It's just you pay more for your installment, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to. I think no need to fork out the whole 10%
lump sum,
to pay lump sum. So Jeremy, I mean, this was a very long, unfortunate journey.
Yeah.
Then, okay, now there's still hope for getting the house lah. We just hope for the best, but after that you got married already, you still need to get a house, right? So then in the end you went for a second house.
Yeah. So if you guys have been following, right? So I got married 2018. Now it's 2025. That's 7 years, and I just have a kid like eight months old now, right? So I can't be staying. Actually, I've been staying with my in-laws for a long time lah. So end 2023 we were a bit itchy lah. Like in Cambodia we stayed away from family, right? It's like enjoyed that. Okay, this is my house. I don't need to follow like parents' rules and everything. So that's where 2023, after we know like the situation, like at that point 2023, remember 2023 there's not a lot of updates, so we were like, okay, let's start looking lah. Okay, both of us, thank God we got better paying jobs. Like, okay, now our budget has increased. Let's really sit down and think, what do we want in a house, or rather what do we want in a home? Yeah, so we like listing down, do we want landed, do we want condo? Okay, landed got its benefits, got its pros and cons, condo got its pros and cons. So we actually went around looking. So this one thing that I learned, very important, I was very terrified of the developer already, right? So whenever I go for like looking at sales gallery or projects, right, first thing I do is like, who is the developer? I think that's very, very important. Track record. Track record.
Because he mentioned a very good point about the developer. Actually, 每一个人你们在买房子的时候，我之前也是有 share 过，你们是可以去 check 那个 developer 的 background 的。你们可以 refer 回我之前的视频，就是去 tedo.kpkt.gov.my 来到去 check 这个 developer the track record of the developer, whether there's any project sakit or abandoned project under the developer. So what's the second thing?
So second thing is, my first house I buy, okay, because it's Rumawip, within budget. I think budget still plays a very important role, right? And at this point, right, if you're looking for landed property within below 1 million, if 1 million, 2 million is your budget, then you can look at PJ area. But if you want landed property that is below, and then I don't think you look for PJ lah. The best case, people will start saying, oh, you want Semenyih. You want what's
Rawang.
Rawang. Actually, Rawang is one thing because my parents stay in Rawang, so we actually look at this place in Bandar Tasik Puteri lah, right? We look at it and it's actually very nice within the budget. I actually put in booking fee. Booking fee, sign everything, right? Then that's where again the whole cycle starts where, okay, you sign with the developer. Then before you actually sign to like stamp everything, right, you have to wait for a loan first, right?
Yeah.
So I wait for a loan law. So the loan was it took a while, right? So that's one thing where I noticed the loan can only be given to you. Developers has this thing, some advertising license. Yeah, at that point, the developer did not have the advertising license for that unit that I signed. So the loan was delayed lah. Actually, for me, I feel like it's a blessing in disguise, right? Because one day my parents went for a vacation. Then they say, why don't you and your wife stay at the house to jaga the cats and everything? That's when we say, oh no, this place is actually very far from our workplace. So if we were to stay there, I think we'll be like you have a very nice house and all, but you like struggling lah. So that's the point where we decided, okay, maybe this is not the place. Going to the third point, it has to be, if you're buying it as a married couple, right? If you're buying it has to be what both of y'all want lah, right? I love that place because I grew up in that place. Family is near and everything. Then very quiet. But if you're gonna be having this struggle to get to your workplace, nice house, everything, but it's a nice house, but is it really a nice home?
Yeah.
That's the thing lah. So that's where it's like, okay, maybe not now, maybe not this place. That's where I quickly call, okay, the loan, can we cancel? Then we cancel with the developer lah, right?
Then you proceed with another place lah.
We actually look for various different places.
How long did you guys do the research? I mean, last round it was like just randomly go to the show sales gallery and
I think it was about 6 months of like going different sales gallery, really asking who's the developer. That's where you start to learn difference between leasehold, freehold, learning about flexi loan, semi-flexi loan, and all those things that now I feel that if you follow their property channel, if you do your research, would make a better decision, make a better home buying experience. Yeah. So anyway, going back to the second home, right? So we found a place. We really like it. It's not to say the nearest to town, but it's somewhere that we are used to, and we are used to the road traveling. So that's why we got it lah. Yeah, and we know that the township is really good. We know that it's supposed to be a planned township, and it's within the budget and exceeding what I want. I wanted to settle for like 1,000 square feet already, but we got some place that is much bigger, within the price range that we can afford lah. Yeah.
So when are you expecting the house? In 1 year, 2 years?
It's supposed to be end of this year.
End
of this year. Looking at the progress, okay, I checked out the developer is quite trusted. May not be the biggest name out there, right? But I feel like they have done enough marketing so that if they down low, right, people will find them out lah.
Okay. So 我觉得这个是一个很好的一个分享，因为 Jeremy 也是从一开始 fresh grad， 然后什么都不懂就要结婚了，然后就 join name 买了一个房子，那个房子又到现在都还没有 VP。Okay, so last thing before we end the podcast today, I think we are all 打工仔嘛, right? So you are also you have also mentioned that you are very blessed that you have considered a very good career lah. So he's a data analyst or data engineer. I got to know him more than 5 years already. So what's your advice to whoever, those 打工仔? Do you think we should buy a house so fast or wait until your career is stable, then only you go and get a house? Because some people, when they first, when you first bought a house, I don't think your salary is even more than 5,000, right? Yeah, so what's your learning and what's your advice?
I think my advice is this lah. Buy a house with a purpose. I think buy a house with a purpose within your budget. I think you need to not financial advice, but you need to know that you need to anticipate how much you're gonna spend, right? And it's not just installment. You think already you furnish your house, renovation, your bills and everything. So I would say, depending on your purpose, if you are the type of person that is into investment, then yeah, maybe you can buy those close to universities and all, right? So buying a property not for your own stay, right? That means you want to invest. Then I have a few friends who did that, right? They could be 1-2 years fresh into working, they buy because they know this is not the place that I will stay. This is the place I want to build an investment. If you're going to buy a place for a home for your own self or for a married couple, right? Then I would say, this is my personal thing, I would say buy instead of renting, right? Because if it works out to about the same amount that you're paying monthly, right? Then why not?
Yeah, but I think the main thing is also you need to do a good research beforehand, because if you buy a house, a place where you call home to stay, it's like at least a 10 years kind of thing before you even decided to move to a bigger place.
That's why I say, like, really think about your intention. Don't go for because like everybody say, oh, you need to buy to invest, because not everybody can buy to invest. Not everybody can buy to own also. So for me, there's nothing wrong with renting. There's nothing wrong with buying. Just do it with a purpose. Some people buy to invest and then renting outside, right? Some people are just renting. I know of people who continuously rent like until their old age, then only they start buying. So I wouldn't say that buying when you're young is wrong, or renting when you're young is the right thing to do. I'll just say do everything with intention and do your research. Don't be like me lah. Bodoh. But I think regardless of everything, right? It's a learning process lah. Yeah, it's a learning process.
Luckily, the house that he bought is not 1 million.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll cry. Yeah.
Okay, so that's it for today. 所以我们今天也到尾声了。然后by the way, Jeremy is also a pickleball coach. If you guys want to learn pickleball or you guys want to get some tips, he also has his own Instagram. 你们可以去 follow， 我把他的 Instagram 放在这里。然后最后呢，也是希望大家喜欢我们今天的内容，然后有任何的问题也是可以在下方留言，我们可以一起来去讨论。最后记得按赞、分享还有留言哦。我们下一期再见，拜拜。